Still quite chaotic at this hour on the scene as far as what we've been hearing. We were out there earlier. The people that we were speaking with experiencing quite a bit of panic.